Hello, land of new coaches. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. I am so excited to be here today and every Monday with you guys. Um, oh my God, there's so much I have to tell you. So much. I was actually going to record this episode like I did last week, but because I wanted to take today off, we got back from vacation yesterday and I don't know if you feel me here, but like, do you ever feel like you need a day to like unwind from your vacation? That's definitely me. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take Monday off too. But then I was like, no, I'm just so excited to come here and talk to you guys and see how you're all doing. So, how is 2021 treating you? Are you guys excited for a new year? I feel like most people are. Like, most people want to turn the page right now. Um, but yeah, I'm not a huge believer on like new year, new me type of thing. I don't really subscribe to that way of thinking because I think really nothing happens. But I do think that starting a new year gets you into it gives you more inspiration and optimism, right? And it's just like a mindset thing. It's not like, oh, 2021 is the thing that's going to change it. It's just that your mindset changes and you have more of a way like of feeling new possibilities, right? But anyway, that's just me. That doesn't mean I'm right. Okay, so hello, welcome. Okay, love hearing that 2021 is awesome for you guys. It's just the beginning, right? There's so much on the horizon. What do we have to say to you guys today? We are going to talk about what to do if you didn't reach your goals last year. Um, yeah, I think this is a topic that's like really important because a lot of people don't, right? Like, there's definitely so many goals that I didn't reach myself, and so many people are talking about planning for the year and setting goals for this year and getting ready for this year, myself included, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But it's so important to recap last year, right? Like, what went right, what didn't go right, and what didn't go right, how can we make it right so moving forward we can achieve a lot more? Yeah? Okay. So, before we begin, I need you all to know that I'm hosting a free goal setting and planning party. Okay, pretty much it's a program that I used to run. It was a 1 week program. I used to charge for this. I had hundreds of students sign up for it. And what we do is I guide you through my step by step process of how I plan my year and how I set goals and how I make sure I set myself for success for the months ahead, just to make sure that things get done and things get achieved. And you're not just planning, but you're also figuring out how you're going to execute in a very customized way. So, what I've done this year is I've actually grabbed that mini course that has been paid for years and I put it into a workshop, which I call a party because we're going to have so much fun. We're all going to be drinking something, whether it's coffee or champagne or whatever, and we're just going to have a ton of fun together planning our year. And I'm doing it for free. And the reason why I decided to do that this year is because 2020 was such a storm and such a hurricane for so many people. And I just want to make sure that I'm providing you guys with the tools and the resources necessary to help you make this year different. Okay. A lot of people struggled last year. A lot of people wanted to do certain things and their life changed or got flipped or turned upside down. So it's free. It's entirely free. You, me, and a big group of ambitious women are going to get together and go through my one of a kind planning process. It really is one of a kind. There's a specific way in which I do this. There is a method to my madness, and it's just amazing. It's really what has helped me grow my business. Even this year, I had a couple years in a couple months in my business where I struggled. Um, and just the fact that I did this at the beginning of the year really helped me move through this, right? Like, it wasn't the thing entirely that helped me move through this, but just the fact that I had so much clarity um, helped me go through those months with a little bit more ease. So yeah, join it. The link is in the description. Now let's get started with today's live stream. Can't wait to party. Yay! Okay, I can't see who's commenting. I don't know why this app is not giving me your pictures. Um, but just wanted to let you know, if I'm not saying your name, it's because I'm not getting your information. But I love that you guys are partying and vibing with me today. Okay, so what to do if you didn't reach your goals last year? I think the most important thing that I teach and I share and I want to leave you with today is the way that you look at that experience is the most important thing. The number one thing that you need to focus on. Because there is nothing we can do about what we achieved or didn't achieve in 2020. That happened. It's unchangeable at this point, right? Whether you wanted to hit 100K and you only hit 48, whether you wanted to book your first client and you barely worked in your business, whether you wanted to lose weight and you didn't get there, there's nothing you can do about it now. So the way that we look at that, it's really going to determine how we're moving forward, okay? So it's really all about perception. And I want to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. It's not like a competition to get it right. It's more so that you're aware of how you're actually perceiving it, right? So are you looking at whatever didn't get done or whatever you didn't achieve, are you looking at as a failure? Are you looking at us like, oh my God, I suck. I should have done more. I can't believe I didn't achieve this. I failed. I tried so hard and I didn't get what I wanted, or I barely tried and I'm beating myself up because I didn't get what I wanted. I let fear get in the way. Is that the narrative that you're telling yourself? Or are you looking at it as a lesson? A growth a growth experience? Are you looking at it as an opportunity to analyze it, right? And learn from it and do different this year, right? Like gather data and see how we can move forward differently so that we don't achieve the same results that we didn't achieve last year. Is that making sense? So because here's the thing, if you are looking at it as like, oh my God, that really sucks. I really wanted to do this and I couldn't do it and I'm beating myself up for it and I can't believe I didn't show up for the things that I said I was going to show up at the beginning of the year and I always do this and blah, 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 blah. What is that doing for you? It's really not doing anything for you. It's only making you feel crappy. It's making you feel defeated. What is it making you feel? Tell me some emotions that come up if you're looking at things like that. Typically you feel crappy, defeated, unmotivated. What else? Give me some ideas, guys. I can't think. I just got back from the beach and I broke 2 of my nails. When you feel like that, how likely are you to show up fully for the year that's to come, right? It's way less likely than if you're like, you know what? This is what happened last year. This is what didn't happen. This is what I could have done better. Let me learn from this, right? Let me forgive myself. Let me learn from this and gather this data to see what I could do differently moving forward. Makes you want to give up. Exactly. Exactly. And we're just getting, oh, thanks for that. Okay, I really needed some support here. Deflated and tired. Exactly. Yes, keep them coming. Keep them coming. And isn't it funny how it's the beginning of the year and we have so much that we want to achieve this year, but because something that happened that cannot be changed, because of that and because of the way that we're looking at it and the way that we're thinking about it, we're already feeling like we want to give up moving forward. And we're already feeling deflated and tired. Okay? And this is why I started with this, because most people do that. Most people look at not achieving what they wanted or not achieving as much as they wanted, and they look at it as like, this is a failure. I suck. I'm wanting to give up. Oops. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. I think my external camera got disconnected. Okay, I think we're back. Okay. And something that can't be changed, right, is determining what could be changed moving forward.
It's a determiner because it's making us feel unmotivated, defeated, deflated, like we want to give up. And we're just getting started. It's like January 4th. So here's what I need you all to do. And this is easier said than done. I promise you, this is not something that comes naturally to me. It's not something that comes naturally to my clients. It's something that we work on, and we catch ourselves every time that it comes up. Whenever we're beating ourselves up for what we didn't achieve, we gotta catch that thought and be like, look, that's done. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm choosing to learn from that experience. I'm choosing to take that as a lesson, right? And I'm choosing to gather that data so I can move forward more effectively, more consistently, more inspired in a different way this year. So gather the lessons versus gathering the self, the, I knew I was going to regret trying to say this word, deprecation, the whatever, self-defeating thoughts, okay? So what are the lessons? What do you learn? Do you learn that you have to make time for your business? Do you learn that you have to set boundaries? Do you learn that you have to hire support? Do you learn that showing up one day doesn't really work? Did you learn that maybe the business that you thought you wanted is not the business that deprivation? I know the word, I just can never say it. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. So I need you to make a list of like, okay, cool, this didn't happen. What did I learn from it? And how can I move forward differently? That's it. Empowerment 100%. There is no need to beat yourself up. There is no need to let what cannot be changed and what cannot be controlled at this point determine what's going to happen for you this year or this month or this week or whatever. Yeah? Okay, and then when you do this, when you're making that list of lessons that you learn, of things that you can be differently, I need you to do this from a neutral place. Meaning, when you're like, oh my God, I learned that if I spend, this is something I learned last year, I learned that if I spent every day at my parents' house, I'm not having enough time to work on the things that are important in my business, right? Personal example. I'm not gathering that lesson and saying like, I am so stupid for spending so much time at my parents' house this year, right? Like it's such a different, it's like neutral, like, oh cool, this is so interesting to analyze. I spent a lot of time with my parents because my dad is here. He's not always here, so I want it to be there a lot more than usual. So I'm looking at it as like, awesome. So maybe what I could do is, if I want to keep doing that, finish what I have to do and then go over their house instead of saying, okay, I'll push this till tomorrow, right? And I'm looking at it from like a neutral place. I'm not looking at it as like, you made such a bad mistake for doing that. Like you could have made so much more money and you could have gotten so many more clients if you would have not gone to your parents' house 3 or 4 times a week versus 1 or 2. I'm looking at it as like, okay, I get it. I understand why I did that. It makes sense, right? Like my dad's here. I wanted to spend time with them. I'm also very family oriented. I'm South American. If some of you are South American, you know how that goes. But it's just neutral. It's neutral. It means nothing about you. It just means that you're a human and you're learning from what you could have done better. Yeah? I'm probably still going to spend a lot of time with my parents. I'm just going to restructure it this year so that it doesn't affect certain things the way that it did. Yeah? Okay. Ready to keep going? Now, let's see, what's my other point in? Don't even think about beating yourself up. Okay? That's like a complete no if we want to achieve more this year. And I've touched the surface on this, but when you beat yourself up, what comes up is guilt, shame, feeling defeated, self-hate, and none of that will help you reach your goals in 2021. Okay? I want to give you permission to accept the fact that you may not have reached certain goals. And I want to normalize the fact that probably every single person that you know didn't reach a goal. I promise you that most people that you know, whether it's a coach that you follow, whether it's a friend or a family member, I promise you that there are things that they wanted to do that they didn't do. because life got in the way, because 2020, because they could have done things differently. But the point is, you're not the only one. I definitely didn't reach certain goals myself, right? But I've been doing this for so long that I've come to the understanding that every single year I'm going to go to the end of the year and look back and be like, awesome, I achieved so much. And also, I achieved so little at the same time. Because that's like a high achieving trait, right? Like, you always want to set super high standards. You always want to go really far, really like, and set even more goals than the average person. So that means that at the end of the year, you're probably going to achieve a ton. And you're also going to look back and be like, oh my God, I could have done so much more. That is just like a normal year to year thing that I experience. So give yourself that permission of like, hey, totally fine. I didn't get some things done. Let's just keep moving forward this year. No need to beat myself up. Here's your permission slip. Like, I'm handing it to you. Here's my next question. Can you actually forgive and accept yourself for what's unchangeable now? Tell me yes or no. I want to know if this is doable for some of you. I want to know if you're like struggling with the thought or the idea. Obviously, think about how hard it is to forgive others, right? Think about how hard it is to forgive them when they do something that really, really hurt you. Forgiving yourself is usually 10 times harder because we tend to be so hard on ourselves. Okay? But you know how they say, like, when you forgive someone, it's because it's good for you, right? Like, holding on to that anger and that resentment is just not good for you. So you can forgive someone for your own benefit. It's the same idea with yourself, right? Like, beating yourself up for you're holding so much like anger and guilt and shame. And it's just not only for your own health and well-being and peace of mind and emotional stability, but also to expand your capacity to achieve, right? Let's see. Yes, I can forgive myself. Oh my God. Okay, cool. I can forgive myself and move on. I usually use it as motivation that propels me. I love hearing that. I think this is like the whole energy that I wanted to bring to today's live stream, right? Where it's like, we can use this as a lesson, as a propeller, versus letting it be something that determines what is in store for us. I always say this, but like, your past results never determine your future results. If you guys read my email of the 2 months that my business struggled this year, like, that is literally the testament of your past results do not determine your future results. Like, your situation can change in the snap of a finger, right? I'm seeing this with so many of my Rise Up clients, right? Where it's like, they come to me with no business, no nothing, no program, no sales page. Like, this is like for the brand new coach, this program. And by the end of the 6 weeks that we work together, sometimes even before, by the end of the first month, they are already getting leads, they're already getting clients, they're already getting people reaching out to them. And the reason why, it's because they're not holding on to what has been their truth over the past few months or the past year, right? Like, maybe your truth has been like, hey, this didn't happen last year, or like, I've been working really hard for this. That doesn't mean that's going to be your truth next month or 3 months from now. Your past results never determine your future results. If your past results determine your future results, then your life would never change. And how many times has your life changed? Okay. Use what you didn't achieve as motivation to move forward. Amen. Amen. Okay, I'm loving you guys so much today. You guys are like the perfect, not compliment, but like the perfect energy to this. Like, I feel like this live stream would be nothing without you guys. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, now, how are you committed to showing up differently? Do you have to think differently? Do you have to take more action? Do you have to not let fear in the way? This is kind of like going back to figuring out, what are the lessons? What do you learn? What's the data that we gather to move forward? Okay. And even to generalize it more, what do you think kept you stuck? Do you think it was strategy, action based, like you didn't know what to do, you didn't have the right steps? Or do you think it was your mind? Do you think you let fear, doubt, and insecurity get in the way? I think that's so important to recognize, right? Like, do we need to work on confidence or do we need to work on strategy? It's like literally the foundation of the type of work that I do. Do we need to figure out the steps? Do we need to create a plan? Do we need to have clarity, right? Or do we need to get out of our own way and build your confidence and believe in yourself and not let fear, doubt, insecurity, or the stumbling blocks get in the way of continuing to show up? And obviously, they go hand in hand, right? Because when you have strategy, when you have a clear plan, when you know what to do, your confidence builds up a little bit. And also, when you have confidence and you're not letting fear get in the way, you execute on the strategy more, right? So, like, that's why I always say, like, I help my clients grow their business through strategy, confidence, and intuition. Because you really can't have one without the other. You need that self trust, you need that confidence, you need that strategy. But we can always look back and be like, which one of those was my biggest obstacle last year? Which one of those was the thing that kept me stuck the most? Okay. And I want to give you guys some personal examples of things that I didn't achieve. Okay? Getting vulnerable here. More action, different tactics will move me forward. Beautiful. Okay, so it's all about re-strategizing, figuring out what works for you, figuring out what steps you need to take, what steps you took last year that were futile, what's working better for you. That's super, super important. So, like, when you say more action, that lets me know that you were taking action, right? So, like, there's obviously a level of confidence, there's obviously a level of willingness to move through your fears, your doubts, and insecurity because you're taking some type of action. Okay, you just realize that maybe the action that you took wasn't the right one for you, or it wasn't as effective as you wish it could be, or maybe you were focusing on the wrong thing. So I love the clarity there. Okay, so there's a few things I wanted to do this year. I wanted to fully finish paying off my credit card. Didn't happen. Very close to it. Was not there. Am I beating myself up for it? No. And this one is a hard one for me, guys, because this one kind of like crushes my identity. I've taken a lot of pride in like not having credit card debt for years and years and years of my life. So this one was hard to like accept and forgive myself for. And, it's literally going against my identity of like, I don't need credit cards, right? But I made big investments this year. Whatever the reasoning is that I had this goal, it didn't fully happen. I'm way closer to it. I'm like this close. Not beating myself up for it because guess what? That's not going to pay off my credit card. Is it? No, it's really not. I also wanted to hire an OBM. That one was really big for me. I really just wanted someone taking over like the whole operation of my business. I felt like it's been time for that for a really long time. I have like control issues, so it's a really hard thing for me. But again, something that didn't happen. Closer to it, but still somewhat far away, right? There's still so many processes I need to put in place. There's still so many things I need to decide. There's still someone I need to find. It's not even like I'm not like if I was to tell you like, yeah, I'm hiring an OBM in 3 months, I would be lying. It's not even on the radar for a little bit until later in the year. Okay, beating myself up for it? No. Is that gonna hire me an OBM? No. Right? Weight loss. Again, I think I learned so much last year. I don't know if you guys know this story, but I am someone who has gained and lost weight my entire life. A few years ago, I lost a lot of weight. I felt really good. It was literally the best that my body has ever felt. And then, obviously, as it usually goes for people who gain and lose weight their entire life, whether it's PCOS, binge eating, whatever it is, I gained the weight and then some. So, losing it has been on the radar for a long time. I learned so much last year. I got closer to the goal, right? But there were still so many ups and downs. Okay. And again, there's so much like mind stuff that goes here. But guess what? Again, this one goes against my identity, because my identity for a long time was like, I'm super healthy, I eat good, I feel really good about this, blah 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 blah, and going against my identity of like, I I feel like sometimes I'm out of control with this. I feel like I go up and down in this journey. It's something that I have to work on to not beat myself up for. And trust me, I still beat myself up for it, but like I have to process it and catch myself and talk to Nick about it and my friends about it, and really change the way I'm viewing it. Because is beating myself up for not being closer than what I want it to be going to help me lose weight? No. Actually, if anything, I think it makes me gain weight, right? Like I feel like anytime that you're not feeling good with yourself, that's when you like don't even want to take care of yourself more. Like you want to like punish yourself. That's my experience though. So those are like three personal examples of things that I really, really wanted to do this year, and they just last year, and they just didn't happen. Right? I gave you a really personal one, I gave you a financial one, and I gave you a business one. Yeah. I'm sure you guys have your own list. I'm sure you have life things that you wanted to do. I'm sure you have business things that you wanted to do. Guess what? It's done. It don't matter what happened. It don't matter what you did, what you didn't do, how far you got, how far you didn't get. This is a new year. This is a new phase. And again, it's not like, oh my God, 2021, everything changes, right? But it's like inspiration to take a break and be like, hey, you know what? Like, I no longer need to identify with the fact that I haven't reached these goals, right? Like, it's more of like a mindset shift. I look at it as like, it's like a little hump that you mentally go through, and you're like, I can give myself permission to leave all of this behind and show up in a different way. And the beautiful thing is that this is something that you can do at any time. This is something that I see my clients do throughout the year, right? Like, I feel like every time that I start working with a client, they go through that little hump of like, I can give myself permission to let go of all the crap that has been holding me back and all the crap that I haven't done and how long it's been taking me to grow my business, and go into this experience with a new mindset and a new way of thinking and a new level of commitment, right? Coaching typically helps you do that, because coaching is like you look forward to it and you're like, this is gonna be different. Nothing really changes though. It's not like 2021 is magically going to change your circumstances, but it gives you the opportunity to change yourself and the way that you see things, and the level of inspiration and motivation that you have. Yeah? Let's see. Great point. I just wanted to add something. Sometimes priorities shift along the way. Yes. And your goal may no longer be in line with your new focus. Okay. Again, I can't see your name or your face, but whoever said that, thank you so much for adding that. I didn't bring it up. Honestly, I totally forgot. But it is such an important thing to think about too, right? Like, I feel like sometimes too, we like hold on to this goal so tightly and we're like, oh my God, we didn't achieve it. But so often, it's so normal to shift what you want in the journey. Sometimes you think you want something. Like, for example, let me give you an example. So, like, my first year in business, right? Like, just like everyone else and their mothers in this space, you want to start hitting 10K months, right? So, like, my first year in business, I was like 10K months, 10K months, 5-figure months, 5-figure months, right? So, like, 6 years ago, I thought that was my goal and my focus on what I really, really wanted. So, I started moving forward with my business, and I started making money really fast. I wasn't hitting 5-figure months. Definitely not. If you know me and you know my story, you know that my success story has been slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay. I have seen people bypass me like crazy. I have seen clients make double and triple and quadruple what I make, which is amazing, right? Like, that's such a beautiful thing. I have seen colleagues start after me and get farther income wise, right? Like, when I say farther, that's like so, I don't know. It's so like, what does that even mean that they're farther? I mean, like, income wise. And I also have seen a lot of people go out of business or quit or burn out or do really well for 6 months and then do really bad for 6 months, right? So like my trajectory has always been slow and steady wins the race. But that's something that I learned on my first year because my goal was 5-figure months, 5-figure months, 5-figure months. And I was like so set on like, this year I'm going to make 5-figure months. And guess what? Because I started making money fast, I started booking clients and doing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And then I can't even remember what the number was, but let's say I got to like a 3K months or something in my first month of business. I started to realize that 10K months so fast for me was not sustainable, right? Like I wanted to build a business that was long term. So it's totally okay if your goal is like, I want to hit this, and then the trajectory and the journey helps you realize, like, I no longer want this. This is not really what feels good to me, or this is not really the way that it feels good to me. Give yourself permission to change your focus, like what you just mentioned in that comment. Because it is so true and it is so normal and it is so okay for you to gather data as you move forward and realize that maybe that goal is not as important to you as you thought. Or maybe that goal is important to you, but the way that you thought that you wanted it could change, right? Like maybe you want it 3 months into your business and then you realize, that's really unsustainable for me, the way that I want to do things, right? Which is like, I don't like killing myself in my business. That's okay too. And this is for everything, right? For everything. Maybe you may think like, I want to lose 50 pounds this year. And then you realize like, that's not really what I want to do. What I want to do is heal my PCOS, right? Like whatever that thing is to you, give yourself that permission to refocus without beating yourself up. I think like number one message for today, beating yourself up does absolutely nothing for you. Okay. This was so good. Okay. Any questions? Any comments? What is your number one goal for 2021? Drop it in the comments. Start speaking it. Start sharing it. Start making it a reality. I want to know what it is because I'm super curious and I'm always here cheering you guys on and helping you move forward in your journey. But it's also really good for you to start saying it, right? A lot of times we want these things internally, but then like no one really knows about it. But we have to start making it real. We have to start holding ourselves accountable by saying like, hey, I want to do this. And it's not just me who knows it, it's like the whole world knows it, right? Like that adds a little a layer of accountability there. That's it for today. Next Monday, as always, 10 a.m. Eastern, we have our next episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara show. I will see you guys here live. For those of you who are live, I literally love waking up on Mondays and hopping on here. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for talking with me and just having such a great time. For those of you who watch the replay, I love you. I see you. I hear you. I really adore you. Thank you for asking your questions. I'm happy to always come back to them and answer them. And don't forget, join the 2021 goal setting and planning party. It's happening in about, let me get the details for you. Hold on. I have to open my super heavy calendar. 2021 goal setting party. When exactly is it happening? January 19th. The 19th. We are all hopping in here. Okay, another thing I want to say. Whenever I run a free event, which is usually like every month, it's free. And I do it in this group. So like technically you could just hop on the live stream. But here's what I need you to know. If you're not signed up through your email, you're not going to get workbooks. You're not going to get bonuses. You're not going to get reminders. The workshop is one layer of it. I always add extra resources and bonus stuff and things like that that you will only get if you're subscribed to it through the link by being in my email list. So just wanted to share that because I don't want you guys to feel like, well, why should I sign up if you're doing it in here? Well, because you only get 30% of it if you just watch it. Anyway, let's see. Stormy. Oh, it's Stormy. Okay, of course you would have such a great point. I love that you're here today. I'm so happy. I hope that you're feeling really well. I want to become a writing coach. Love that. I have been doing it for free for years, so I wanted to add it to my author brand. So I actually have a client who works with writers. And I think it's such beautiful and powerful and needed work. I absolutely think you should do it. I think the online space is exploding with coaches and entrepreneurs and people who want to write, whether it's a book or a magazine or whatever. So if you needed some encouragement to move forward with it, I'm giving it to you right now. Tuesday, January 19th. Yes, I will see you all there. Thank you for joining me and have an amazing rest of your week. Bye, everyone.